So Mr. Duncan has passed away. My condolences to his family, and may he rest in peace. This is actually about him and us and fear and reason and trying to come to some solution. Okay, show of hands. Okay, how many people knew before those white Americans came back to America there was an actual treatment and or cure for Ebola? Okay, so what I'm trying to talk about today is an open letter to the media and the CDC. It's time that y'all sit down and have an AMA, maybe a 4-hour AMA, so that we can get past this. And please stop patting us on our head and telling us that there's nothing to fear. For the last 10 years, y'all been selling us that Ebola was something to fear. If you Google it right now, you will find Ebola on any list of the world's most dangerous viruses right now. And that's all you've been telling us. Boy, you get Ebola, man, it's over. You get Ebola, you're done. You're going to bleed out of every orifice in your body, and you'll just sit there on your bed, and you'll just turn into a nasty-ass bacterial soup. You're going to look like a Edgar Allan Poe story. You get Ebola, you're going to turn into Edgar Allan Poe prose. That's what's going to happen. So you might as well start writing your will right then, right now. To my friend William, I'll leave you my iTunes library. Well, that's some good shit on there. And I think I'm going to leave my Jordans to charity. Okay, that's some bullshit. I don't own any Jordans. Personally, I don't believe in paying more for shoes than a bike. I mean, a bike you can ride like 30 miles on. Jordans, you can only just walk as far as it takes for someone to rob them motherfuckers from you at gunpoint. When they got back here, all of a sudden, Ebola wasn't Ebola anymore. Did you know it was a lousy virus? Couldn't live that long out of the body? All you had to do was wash your hands. Still, you're telling us it's not that bad. Not that bad. That's all you've been showing us is bad. The stories that we were getting look like some shit out of a dystopic future, like World War Z. The last thing I saw was out of Liberia, and there was a village of people that were trying to get out, and they had soldiers that surrounded the village and were shooting some of the young cats as they tried to get out of the village. And then, to make it even crazier, outside of that perimeter, there were dead bodies all throughout the town. A lady that was lining up against a building that had a dead child next to her. That's the kind of shit you were showing us, okay? Now, all of a sudden, when they come to the United States, oh, don't worry, don't worry. So we don't want to panic, but we also need reason. We need a balance. Because we don't have balance. We have the history of the United States of America of people coming up with fucked up shit. What, you ask? Oh, like spreading radioactive dust on unsuspecting citizens as they make their way throughout the city. Or maybe using that same dust in children's cereal. Well, shit, these here are some goddamn unlucky charms. Or maybe using soldiers and inmates for malaria tests. Or how about the eugenics-themed sterilization of black women inmates all throughout the South? And speaking of black people and experiments and fucked up shit, let's talk about one of the granddaddies of them all, one of the great Hall of Famers, the Tuskegee experiments. It went from the 30s to the 70s. 4 sets of 10 of horse fuckery. And the really messed up thing about it is in the 40s, they found out that penicillin worked as a treatment against syphilis. Yet they still kept giving these cats placebos, making them think that something was going bad and telling them that all they had was bad blood. Here you go. You can take this watery substance or go play some tonk. Either way, same results. And the whole time the cats didn't know. If they would have done whatever they could to get cured. Which brings us to the wild card, Mr. Duncan. My feeling about Mr. Duncan is this. He helped his neighbor's kid, and his neighbor's kid died of Ebola. Then his neighbor died of Ebola. And I believe that Mr. Duncan knew that his time was short. How else can you explain in a poor country like Liberia for him to be able to get the ticket that he could to fly 1,600 miles, make 3 stops in 12 hours to land up in the United States of America? Only mistake is that he made it to Texas. Damn, the most anti-government government that you could have made it over here to. First time he gets sick, he goes there and they turn him away. Now, why do you think that happened?
I am from Liberia. I am sick with flu-like symptoms.
Okay, well, we got some of that. Just need to know who your healthcare provider is, and we can keep moving on this.
I am from Liberia. I am sick with flu-like symptoms.
I just need to know, exactly, what your insurance is.
I am from Liberia. I am sick with flu-like symptoms.
Hey, you know what? This is Dallas, Texas, and we don't take kindly to moochers. So you go ahead off with your little Obamacare, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you these Excedrin, and you come back right when you're ready to tell us how you're going to pay for this. The man goes away to his 2-story stucco upstairs with 5 other people, and then he comes back days later, and they give him the last bit of medication they said they have, but without giving him the same serum that everybody else got who is now healthy. Then they left the family in the house for 9 days. Now, when something like that happens, you're supposed to call in the National Guard. You're supposed to call in the Corps of Engineers. You're supposed to outfit some warehouse in the boonies, okay? Texas got boonies. The word boonie comes from Texas. So they know, well, actually, no, it doesn't. It comes from something else. But Texas got a lot of boonies. Believe me. You're supposed to outfit a warehouse into the state-of-the-art facility that can hold more than just that one family in case you need to protect them and to protect the public so that people don't go crazy. But what does Texas do? They hire the last Z-Best carpet cleaning franchise to clean up that house. That's a state where you can't vote with a student ID, but you can vote with a gun permit.
Like to vote, please? I'm studying to be a neurosurgeon.
Yes, I'd like to vote. I'm in law school right now. Architecture school. I'm going to be a professor. I'd like to teach some people. The fuck is that sound? I just shot my finger off one of them knockoff AR-15s. Can I get my ballot? With the wild cards involved, what are we talking about? We're talking about a poor community where somebody, your son or your daughter, or let's say it's your brother or your sister, or your mother, your father, or you or your husband or your wife, you're going to try to do the very best you can to get the very best care that you can. And that may mean leaving the perimeter, and that puts a lot of people in danger. A man traveled 1,600 miles to find it. So what does this mean here in the United States of America? It means that we have to make sure that everyone has adequate access to a basic level of health care. Do you honestly believe in the red states where they're not providing Obamacare that these working poor are going to be able to pay the $50 or $75 visit if they feel like it's just the flu? What they're going to do is wait, and that is the last thing that any of us need. So yes, the CDC needs to sit down and have an Ask Me Anything 4-hour marathon with the press so that we can balance our fears and our reason. We don't come up with our own ideas. This is Brandon Boland with TheUnder.